Howdy all. This week's project is a natural edge piece of walnut. This is a crotch piece. So it does have a little bit of figure to it. As I normally start with these is between centers, so that once I get it close to being round, I can adjust things and make the wings so that they're all relatively on the same plane at the top. And most of my cuts at this point will go from the top down. If this one doesn't have bark on it, but if it does have bark on it, you need to go from the top down a little ways. It just helps keep the bark in place. You're not trying to rip it off the piece. Sorry for the little blur there. I'm not quite sure what the camera is having a little trouble focusing. So once we get the tops done, then we go flatten out the bottom so we have a place for our foot. And then we'll shape the bottom and make it into a bowl shape, because in my opinion the curve needs to go from the foot to the top. I try not to make anything that has sharp corners on it. It just makes your life a little bit easier. This is hard. This is dry wood. This is a piece that's been around for quite a number of years. It had the ends sealed, so there wasn't really any cracking, and what little bit of cracking there was I was able to get rid of. So we're starting with a dry piece of wood. It means it's a little slower, a little bit more time and cutting time involved. Definitely was more sharpening time, because I don't normally, when you do things in green wood, you don't have to stop and sharpen, but when it's dry, and I think this had some sort of silica or something in it, which did knock the edge off the tools a couple times in certain places, so that's kind of a giveaway that there's something there that even though you can't see it, it was always in the same place. We'll finish up the outside shape with a traditional scraper and use it as a scraper, and then up on its edge to do a little bit of a shear scraping with it. Once you get used to using these traditional scrapers, they're actually a very good tool to use. And on the sanding, I won't bore you with much of the sanding. I do go around the rim before I start to spin it, and I'll do the same thing on the inside. I'll go around the entire rim just by hand, and then I'll spin it and sand from there. Here we are cleaning up the foot. Everything else besides the foot is complete at this stage. It's also sort of back between centers, but it's also on a vacuum chuck. But the tailstock is supporting it while we're doing all this cutting. I usually don't turn the vacuum on until I'm ready to get rid of the tailstock and finish out basically just that last little bit down there. This thing did cause one little problem. You'll see when we go finishing it, there was a little bit of a branch or something went through it. Well, it left like a little canyon in there, an area that didn't suit me, that I ended up having to fill up a little bit. I filled it with some man-made turquoise, which I don't know. The court's still out on that as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I've used it. I mean, in little places like here on the bottom, it looks good, but when I flip it around, you'll see that there's a bigger place on the other side. And we're using our typical finish, which is the Parfix 3408. Slow setting super glue, no odor, one coat and done. It's very simple. It's my finish of choice. I am a distributor of it, but it's not why I'm a distributor of it. I'm not a salesman at all. I distribute it because I like to use it, and it was hard to get, so it's just easier for me to go through a little bit of the work to be able to sell it to other people and be able to have it at my beckon and call at any given time. And then when we finish it off, after it's cured for 24 hours, I will come back and buff it with Vonex, which comes out of England, and I also sell that, but it's a buffing compound. It's designed to buff plastics and lacquer, and super glue is nothing more than liquid plastic in a bottle. So it does a really nice job. It's a little bit less aggressive than like the white diamond, which you could use, um, but it just works very simply. And then we'll finish it off by buffing a coat of carnauba wax. And thanks for watching. Have a good day.